If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, consider that CPAPs were invented in 1980. Do you even remember 1980? Everyone's house had one telephone. There were like 4 TV channels. Come on. You played video games in arcades and watched movies in theaters. GPS was a folded map and a helpful gas station attendant. And social media was inviting the neighbors to come look at your vacation pictures. A lot has changed since 1980. Now, for people who struggle with CPAP, there's Inspire. Inspire is an implanted device that treats sleep apnea inside your body at the click of a remote. It's the only FDA-approved sleep apnea treatment of its kind. While you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and resting comfortably. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
This is the JJO Morning Show podcast with Johnny and D. Listen, rate, subscribe.
This is pretty cool. So Lance is in, since Johnny is not.
Yep.
And Lance brought in
a special guest.
Seriously.
Carried me in his pocket.
He did. A little backpack.
Like Yoda, I brought him in.
Totally, dude. I can be your backpack while you run. Matt from Mudvayne is here. Hi, welcome.
Good morning.
It's nice that you're on the show. I love, earlier off the air, you were saying something that I relate to so much. I'm like, I got old man hours. Go to bed at 9, I'm up at 5. I was like, yes, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, I was complaining about being like tired all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I'm swearing on the morning show, and then you're like, well, I get up at 5 anyway, and I'm like, well, yeah, I get up at 4, but I go to bed at like 2.
Yeah, I've always been a morning person. I'm kind of like that
Same.
anti-rock guy. No, I've already done my session of meditation. I already did my yoga session.
Yeah.
Went through the news, read my email,
Oh, man, that's great.
The morning routine.
Yeah, the whole morning thing, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, because you're off, right? You had the big tour, and then...
Yep. So, the funny thing, if we're talking sleeping schedules, so when I'm home, I go to bed before I would go on stage.
Right.
So I'm literally, like, you're literally just catching me now, like, it's just been the past couple days of, like, shifting my whole schedule by 12 hours, and it's been like a wreck. I've been having a brutal hard time with it.
Yeah, totally. Well, because we'll have bands in for the Sound Lounge too, and I mean, you're asking them to sing at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Which, if you
so
talk to
bad.
any singer, sleep is number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Rest.
100%. And I go like, thinking about you having to go on tour and shift your schedule that much. We're such whiny babies.
I know. I'm complaining. I'm like,
well, if I go to a weeknight show, I'm like not the same for 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, so I've got my Garmin watch, and I do all my telemetry, and I started doing this like 2 years ago when the band started kicking back up, and like I started realizing that an hour and 20-minute set is basically the same as running a 10K. So on top of like having to shift my schedule and like go on stage at 9:40, I'm basically running a 10K, at 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
And so you don't just do that and then
go to bed.
And go to bed. So like I'm up until, and I'm like not a sleeping kind of person. Like I'm the last one up on the bus up until until 6. So I'm literally like.
It's kind of how I am too. I do the same thing. I just can't. I'm always the first up, and I'm always the last to go to sleep.
Yeah,
that's totally me. One of my crew guys over Christmas gave me a little inspirational sleep book.
Okay.
To try to, it was this subtle kind of like, it was like in a gift
box. Was it Good Night Moon?
I don't even. It ended up on a pile. It's not going to help me.
Or the Samuel L. Jackson, go the F to sleep.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So speaking of the tour and whatever else, it's got to be a trip coming, because I just think about my age and where I was at when Mudvayne first started, and obviously the tight relationship JJO and Mudvayne have had throughout the whole years. But how different my mindset is now compared to back then, and it's got to be the same for you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the band's we're going on 30 years. We're all different people, and making records and touring and all of it changes everyone. I didn't tour for almost a decade, so I mean, there's like two sides of it. Like coming back out, it was like just the day had passed, and it was like completely natural. walking back up on the bus, it was like, oh gosh, I've come back to home.
Yeah.
But, crowds of people, and it's after being a middle-aged dude at home, like just sit around, don't leave the house for 4 days on it. Oh, I got to go get groceries. Okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
you talk yourself out of it. I don't want to do that.
It was, I mean, there was adjustment. I'm really enjoying it. It's been a lot more fun than I expected. This last tour that we just did was probably the best tour that I've ever done.
That was the Wimmer festivals, right?
No. We just finished doing a headliner Shed tour with Cold Chamber Guar, Nonpoint, and Butcher Babies.
Very cool.
Yeah, we did Wimmer shows back in 21. So we've done.
Okay.
So there's been like a 3-year cycle now. We did the Wimmer fall festivals in 21. Last year we did a similar summer Shed tour with co-headlining with Rob Zombie, and then this year we did our own. So. I mean, it was a tour. It was like a normal tour, but like Cold Chamber, like
that's awesome.
It was. I hadn't seen those dudes for like over 15 years, and
we just saw Meigs. He was at Taste. Oh, he was playing guitar with Gemini Syndrome.
No doubt.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I can't believe he didn't tell me. He knows I'm from Madison because obviously that's where we ran into.
Yeah.
That little. So we're getting ready to do Australia with them in
that's
February.
what I saw, yeah.
So. And actually, like, Mikey, the drummer, was like texting me on Sunday. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna see you in." He was like, just like cute, like, "Bro, I miss you already. We're gonna do Australia." I was like, so we did shows with them, like '98 or whatever, and we weren't even signed at the time. And it was like, those dudes are really scaring me, like, very scary. But like that whole coming back around and then seeing friends like that, and it was just. The whole tour was super, and so I'm really enjoying all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, but still, in between that time, you were still doing things like Audiotopsy.
We did. Greg and I did Audiotopsy for a minute. That was a vanity project, basically.
Yeah.
We did. I mean, we shot our own video. Like we filmed like one of the videos that's up on YouTube. Maybe it isn't anymore. I don't know. Me and a friend did all the artwork. We did all the merch ourselves. It was like literally like a vanity thing where it was our little baby kind of thing.
Sure.
It was a lot of fun. We've produced it, recorded it. But other than that, I do some people kind of deep Mudvayne stuff. I do like electronic music. I'm into a bunch of weird stuff.
I read this because the weird
dude is in there. Oh, Matt's so crazy. You know.
So yeah, and we were talking that night when we were drinking, and
I don't remember much of that, by the way.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah.
I texted you in the morning. I was like, oh boy, we had to go right back at it.
Yeah, right.
Like,
you did.
So did you. You had the wine.
That's right. I was. I had cracked a very fine 2008 Chablis. It was a Grand Cru Chablis. Oh yeah, some cheese and a little cheese spread. Yeah,
I had some Busch Light.
Well, okay. So as a side note, and I'm the master of like rabbit holes, so keep me on track. But like, has anybody had Busch Light apple?
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
That's it.
God. The Busch Light peach was okay, but Busch Light apple.
It's good.
So the band has we have a whole, and this is more of a Ryan and I thing. We have a whole dad beer tradition. I'm a dad beer fanatic, so. We maybe would have talked about this, like hams. I'm a huge hams freak.
Yeah.
Old style hams, Milwaukee Light, best. Ice is like, oh yeah. So anyway,
the ice is bad. The hams is all the people are drinking hams.
I'm a
now.
huge
Schlitz.
Schlitz. So the thing with Schlitz, it was bought out maybe about 10, 15 years ago, and they went back to the original formula.
Yeah.
So Schlitz is my Indy 500 drink.
Really?
That's like, oh yeah, I always get a 6-pack for Indy 500.
You'd get along with my dad because he drinks all that stuff. That's cheap,
What's dad beer? That's exactly dad beer.
He loves that.
Yep.
Pabst and all that.
Nope, no Pabst.
No.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. No, what is it? Heineken. Yeah, from Blue Velvet.
Oh yeah,
won't
that's
say it.
right. Blue. Oh, I can't remember that whole thing.
It was Dennis Hopper.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
Heineken. F that.
Because we were talking about Acid Bath, and they used a lot of samples from that.
Oh yeah.
People, relax.
What a complete waste
We are killing it online. Have you guys checked the comments?
of cyberspace.
Smoke That Skin Wagon says, you guys are killing it.
The JJO Morning Show Podcast.
We're internet sensations.
Johnny and D, nowhere but JJO.
So
It's right before we were,
And it's well known that Lance hates listening to his own band. When people play it on the jukebox.
Yes,
or
you
whatever.
get it. You get it.
It's cool and everything, but you want to hear it. No, but yes, I don't like hearing my own.
So Dig comes on and Matt just starts. There was like some sort of convulsion happening over there. He's like, "No, God, why?"
Get the fingernails off the chalkboard, please.
Good, because we'll play Audio Topsy too.
Yeah, right. I'm cool talking about that. I wouldn't remember what those songs sound like either. I don't listen to it.
I think it's pretty fascinating that starting the tour back up, you hadn't even touched a drum in how many years?
Yeah, so we were mentioning that off air. So we came off tour in September of 2009, and events led to conversations starting about a reunion, possibly touring in 2019, and it was like, oh yeah, that means I have to play drums, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, and I hadn't played, for 12 years.
Yeah, and it's not like you're playing AC/DC, man.
No, not at all. Yeah, and so, Callus is gone, obviously. All of it, yeah. So I committed to it, and I just, doubled down and said, I'll figure it out, and there was, am I going to have to, I still feel like I'm playing it. I feel like I'm in a Mudvayne cover band. I still feel like a poser. I still do. Like,
so
it's like,
crazy.
What's funny is you sit there and you have to relearn because what did I do there? And you have to listen to your own music and get the
so
parts.
It was really tripped out. Like when I first started trying to work through some of the songs on the kit at home, on a V-drum kit, by the way. So not even on a real acoustic kit. It was like an absolute train wreck. The first time I would go through a song, like Dig. Well, the first time, like I tried to play through Dig and was like, okay, played that, lay down on the floor, heart rate 190. I was like, okay, I'm going to take 3 days off before I try again. But the weird, literally,
next song.
Gonna go to bed. But it was really bizarre. The muscle memory come back a second time, and like things would start coming back super, super fast.
Sure.
So like the memory and my relation to it unconsciously or in my neurochemistry or circadian, whatever.
Yeah, it's all mapped in there because
it just all started coming back.
memory,
So yeah, really the challenges weren't so much relearning the songs. The challenges have been just the physicality of it because it's brutal.
right. Yeah, 100%.
And I'm just like, look at these wrists. I'm just a little guy,
got dainty wrists.
I'm just a little tiny little guy, I'm not like a big strong, So for me, it's been a lot of work just being able to I could play a couple songs, but you play 18 songs or whatever.
That's what I was about to say. How big is the set?
Yeah, I think. Well,
and I'm assuming you save you save Dig till the very end, which.
Yeah. And sometimes it's better to do those songs in the middle of the set. Don't start with them. Don't end with them. I have a very regimented training schedule that I started at the time. It was like 2019, got to go on stage. Okay, start this now. And it's monotonous and it's hard to be disciplined. But that's
yoga.
I do yoga. I have a yoga program. I free weights. I run. I've always been into running. Obviously rehearsing. All of that kind of stuff. So.
Well, that's cool. Hey, I was going to ask you, we were talking about like old stuff. When we were talking, we were drinking again. and you had talked about, I wanted to ask you because I never knew, because the first time I ever saw you, we were with Slipknot, and we were getting there late, and we were like, I don't know who Mudvayne is.
Of course not. Yeah.
Then we get in there, I was like, whoa, they're better than Slipknot.
Oh, well, you said that, not me.
I did say that.
Yeah.
I stand by it. So where did that name come from?
Let's see. Okay, so was it Aliens or was it a doctor visit? The official Chad cover story is him going into several of us being homeless and unemployed and deeply in need of being able to pay rent and buy ramen noodles. He went to donate blood plasma, and some RN nurse taking blood said something, and he said something about, hey, did you just hit the did you just hit the Mudvayne?
So, and so that just stuck? as you were
Let's
talking
go. Let's go with that one.
Okay.
Let's go with that one. Ask me tomorrow. I'll make up another one. I'll make up another.
That's what I heard when I was looking at stuff. I heard that one, and then
that might be that one. That one's come up before. That one's been made up by someone along the way. I like more of the alien communication. So that'll be the next one.
Which is when you were talking about that, because we were talking. You like electronic stuff. You like dabble in that. Did you do all the interludes and stuff like that were on LD50?
I mean,
does that?
I don't. Okay.
Did you write those?
Yeah, I mean, now it's the cat's out of the bag. I never spoke about it publicly all through the early the 2000s when Mudvayne was touring, but now it's kind of obviously it's public. Yeah, that's all pretty much me.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lifelong love of electronic music. And through the 90s when it started becoming possible, like the whole home studio revolution now that we all live in now, just with the advent of software through the 90s, I was into computers anyway and just got tricked out and started just making noise, And so I had done several projects that were like the interludes, so I had a precedent as far as like what I was doing, my own field recordings and sound sourcing and everything that I did. So the LD50, which is like the full, I did LD50, which is on the beginning of All Things to End, which a lot of people don't realize. That's the full 17, 18-minute piece. Then I cut it up into the interludes, but it's actually one thing. So I did all that. I recorded all the parts for it, did all the samples and the mixing, and actually everything on it. So
it was Gigi Garth, right, who mixed it into the songs? Because I couldn't hear like any of that album without hearing those interludes.
Yeah, 100%.
I really appreciate
the chimes and
I appreciate. That's all. Those are all like the Chinese hand massaging. So I recorded those. It's Tibetan bowls. I recorded all that in studio on my own, and then used all that as underlayments in processing. Lots of processing with lots of samples that some people probably recognize a lot of them. So I had done all that I had done all that before we even tracked the record, and so Garth. I mean, everyone was on page. The band, obviously, the band. Chuck obviously knew about it. I had done demos with just 6 songs. I put demos together with the interludes. The interludes were already cut up. I already knew the lengths. I knew everything I wanted, and I put together a mock demo, and that's partly what we got a record deal from.
Right.
Submitted it, got it to A&R from Epic, and was like, this is the mock of it, the demo of it. It's going to be 12 songs. It's going to have all this. So we already knew when we went into the studio with Garth to record the record, all of that was done. I had it already finished. And so tracked the record, mixed it, and then we went back in, Garth and I, and we sequenced it. And we put it all together, and that's what went to mastering.
Okay, yeah. That is awesome. Like I said, I couldn't hear that album without that.
Yeah, it's in retrospect, I mean, it's one of the most proud things I have in my career.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
So you said that the Epic guy was this? There's the validity behind this that I read was that you guys had played a show with like 4 people there. Was Sean from
we did a showcase.
Slipknot.
Yeah, so it was Steve Richards who was Slipknot's manager and A&R from Epic, and so Slipknot was coming through Chicago. We did all the demos with friends of ours in Chicago. We're still friends with them, and we had been doing the demos, and we came back and we just set up a mock stage in his studio. Slipknot was playing in Chicago. Clown came in. Steve Richards came in. I think Clown had like his tech. He brought him in with as well, and we played like 20 minutes, and like full makeup. It was like,
was it weird?
It was strange.
4 people. Did they clap when you were done?
Yeah,
it was complete silence.
You've probably met Clown, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. He was like jumping around and being like, we are one crazy fan,
right.
Like, ripping his hair out, and probably peed his pants,
Probably.
and
we played shows like that, man. I know. It wasn't an AR representative.
No. I mean, the pre-signing of the band. I mean, we were notorious for going. I remember a show in Quad Cities. We played a bar in Quad Cities and was like set up, go back in the bathroom, put makeup on, come out, and like the 11 people that were at the bar, like everyone got up and left and played to nothing. We used to do that. Over and over and over. Like the makeup was never like a thing that was supposed to work. It was like we're trying to scare people to death, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
You did scare people because I remember.
I hope so. Yeah.
Beloit River Fest. This is so long ago in the
Well,
JJO
did we do
history.
makeup then too?
You did do
Okay.
makeup
All right.
because that was all. The next morning, I remember people were calling in, or that Monday morning, people were calling into the morning show. I did nights at that time.
Who are the clowns up on stage?
They were like, "What is up with this band? What is going on?" And I just remember that was just. After that, people were deeply in love with you guys. They were like fans from that minute because you were scary.
Yeah, when it got to the proper demographic, then it
Oh, yeah.
then it flipped over and it was like, you know, and I say this all the time. It's like it was very naive on our parts, very naive on my part. We didn't see anything about the gimmick of it and it being a marketing tool for Epic, and obviously it became that, and it kind of eclipsed the band. And when it started happening, it was like, what is going on? It was just bizarre. So, but I mean, it's part of the history, and like gaining the attention, the dig video. Obviously,
I still have the dig video on VHS from your record, people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I remember the first time we saw it because I got that one and Sugar from System of a Down.
Oh yeah.
And I remember the first time I saw the dig video, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
And I didn't have it. I had no other way to listen to the single other than that video, so I would rewind it and play it over again.
I'm not, like you actually have a Mudvayne tattoo.
I do.
It's funny. So a couple guys on this just like last month went and got the M's, and somebody said something to me about like, come on, you got to come along with and do it. And I was like, nope.
You have no tattoos? Oh, just the one on the leg.
No, I'm sleeved.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
holy
Yeah, look
crap.
at
Oh no,
that.
I've got like 300 hours on me. The whole back of my head's tattooed. That's
awesome.
Oh,
Well, I normally saw it with the white paint on it, so it's
yeah, exactly. I don't televise. I don't. What's the word?
advertise it.
Yeah. My work is personal and for me. So
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I love that.
But yeah, so it was kind of. I'm gonna end. I have to do it. It was more me just being
No.
being me.
I was going to bring it up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, and I got it before you guys played Sonic Boom. No,
Not Sonic Boom, Bandcamp, yeah.
Bandcamp.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, it was fresh then. I've been a
dude,
fan
that's-
forever, obviously.
So and you talk about
We're talking with
scaring
Matt.
scaring
Hold on.
people, right?
Let me reset quick.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
We're talking with Matt from Mudvayne, drummer and founder. Go on.
Yeah, there we go. So you were talking about scaring people, and one of the things I remember is when you guys obviously got a lot of press, a lot of people watching, and you went to the VMAs.
Oh
right?
geez. Yeah.
And you had the bullet,
Oh my God,
bullet
I
in the
forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
rewatched
we did that.
Yeah. And you put whose idea first off?
The bullet holes were always Chad. I mean, because he was already doing that. He'd been doing bullet holes on stage for, about a year probably. So, all of us doing it. That's the only time we've ever done that.
Yeah.
So I think it was just like, obviously, we got. It's us. We're gonna do something ridiculous. So
like Christina Aguilera just staring at you like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, I have. You can actually go, and somebody did this recently. You can search for like VMA, Alicia Keys, Mudvayne, or Alicia Keys, Matt McDonough, probably Ryan, and you'll see a photo. And it was after we'd already won the award, and we were back in all the tents, the media tents, and like. Alicia Keys was walking through. She wanted to do a photo with us, and I remember so it's me and Ryan with her, and like I remember going, I'm like, girlfriend, I've got fake blood all over me, and she's wearing like a $40,000 dress or whatever.
Oh yeah, I see it right here.
Yeah. So you see, so we did. Everyone was super cool. The VMA, yeah, there you go. That's it.
There's you, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And Ryan.
Well, we sat. So she sat. She was sitting. It was her and Nellie sitting right in front of me. Me and Ryan, and I talked to her the whole time. I mean,
still talk to her?
No.
Oh.
No. I'm not a rock star. It's so bizarre.
You look like it right there.
Well, I look like a goofball, like I actually am. So yeah, I mean, everyone was super cool. I could sit here and tell you stories about all the different people that we talked. Justin Timberlake was completely rad. Mark Wahlberg was probably the coolest dude we met.
Stop it.
Oh yeah, he was.
Oh boy, here we go.
Love Mark Wahlberg.
I
And
love him too. He was amazing.
I've never met him. He's got 3 nipples,
I certainly hope so.
And I think that's the key.
I like him
think
even more
it's
now. Yeah,
power.
so yeah,
I know.
he has more energized like some sort of like titty chi or something. Can I say that?
Yeah, sure you can.
Absolutely.
Titchy. Right?
That's going to get put in the bank right there.
Yeah, titchy. He's got titchy.
Well, fantastic. One of my friends actually worked for the Wahlbergs designing some sort of logo. Oh, it was for Jenny McCarthy's vodka or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And so he was on a conference call. Mark Wahlberg was on there. I was like, dude, just let me sit behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gay as hell.
Yeah.
But Mark Wahlberg, I will sniff his
Oh,
underwear.
boy. Yeah, dude. Not me, but I'll eat his burgers. How's that?
Eat his burger. Yeah. Absorb his titchy. I'll do like chest bumps with him, right? And just kind of get some of that. Yeah, because I am definitely not. No, I'm the guy. I don't know if I can say this on air too. I'm like the joke is like I'm the guy that can talk any woman out of having sex with him in like less than a minute.
Yeah.
I'm the anti-girl guy. Like, I am like not total geek.
I do the same thing, man.
Well, you're a singer in a band. Everyone loves you. Come on.
Well,
Come on.
Not as popular as your band, homie.
Yeah.
We thought uploading to the cloud was something completely different. The JJO Morning Show Podcast. Johnny and D, JJO.
D and Lance in the morning, and we are joined with Matt, the drummer and founder of Mudvayne, one of the founders of Mudvayne. And we just cracked an Oktoberfest.
I appreciate you not calling me a rock star. I was being facetious, but it's like I guess in a certain context, you know. But
Yeah.
Well, not everybody's been to award shows and stuff like that. So
yeah. Oktoberfest, let's go with that.
Yeah. Totally. So, Lance, what'd you bring in here?
So this is Oktoberfest, City Lights Oktoberfest. It's great. I love Milwaukee's beer.
It's really good. It's very good. It's an American take on it. It's not so much the Munich Big Four.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Which are a little brighter and the hoppy. You know when you're having a Hofbrau or a Spaten.
Oh yeah, because we all
100%.
the Optimator.
Dude.
Optimator has an Oktoberfest.
No.
Just
the
Optimator.
Optimator is the Spaten. I know that Spaten Optimator.
Spaten.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, yeah,
that is fantastic. It's one of my favorite beers.
8% or something probably.
Yeah, we wrote an album on that. It was awesome.
Yeah,
we
kinda-
thanked it in the notes. Thanks Spaten Optimator for all that.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because we were sitting there the other night when we were drinking, and then we kept going. We did that. Me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
you
me
like
too,
that?
yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're like, did we become best friends? Yup.
Yeah, you're old like me.
I love that you're super into Oktoberfest, though, and we do a lot of beer tastings on this show.
Sure.
In this building, really. But
Tomorrow?
Yep.
Tomorrow we have one. I have one right after the show as well.
I could be your celebrity beer taster.
I love that,
Yeah,
dude.
bring me in sometime. I'm way down. Call me an Uber. I'll be there.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah. Tell me why you love Oktoberfest beers.
Stylistically, just the Maibach type of beer. That's what I gravitate towards. I am this whole juicy fruit IPA slushy fermented. Some of it. But I've always been like I don't like hops. I don't like drinking a pine cone. The flavor of it, and then obviously you find out about the tradition, the festival, and just 300,000 people, 500,000 people. It's probably more than that. Descending on Munich, and everyone is, And then I started going to them locally about 10 years ago, and any excuse to like sit at a picnic table in a parking lot and watch a polka band at 9 a.m. and get drunk is like, woo, I'm there. Yeah, let's do this. Somebody driving? Let's go. Yeah, that's me.
It's fantastic. But there's something about, and I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out why I have such an emotional attachment to Oktoberfest beers. There's I don't know if it's like the change of the season.
It's your
It's a time of season. It's the Halloween, fall, all of that. The spirit of it. Go to any Oktoberfest, any of the local ones around Madison. The vibe, I've never had a bad experience with people. Everyone's partying and having a good time and celebrate. It's just, and nobody's doing anything important. You're just sitting around and just listen to music and drink. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe it brings out the best in people.
Maybe, yeah, totally. I just had an Oktoberfest yesterday, actually.
Which one?
The Octillion from Ale Asylum.
Oh, I haven't had that one.
I think I have one in the fridge. I might.
Yeah,
you can take home with you.
I might be parking my car and.
There you go.
Yeah,
I got you.
That's okay.
I took the day off, so
I might have to get a ride home if we do this. I mean, there's so many. There's different varieties now, and there's American takes on it.
Yeah.
Great Dane has a great one.
Oh, yeah.
Working Draft, if you can get it, because it sells out. So, do you guys know Working Draft?
Oh, hell yeah,
my
dude.
God. So I think they have something going on in another week or so, and I'm gonna go do Working Draft. So.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I love that. That's fantastic. And it's great that because I have the same thing where I like dad beers. I like cheap, regular beers, but I also know, you know,
I'm a snob as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to drink 64s because otherwise I'm a big fat
I know.
turd.
That's my whole thing. Like,
Look at my ass, it's huge.
It's Bud Light next and 64.
Yep.
And the Michelob Ultra, this seltzer or something or other. Yeah,
I've got to do that, and in between those, I squeeze in something good like the Optimator or something like that.
That's exactly what I do.
Oh, yeah.
I do that with the NAs. That's like NAs are super low calorie as well because there's no alcohol, which blows. But some of them are getting pretty good.
So you're the only one. Well, are you the only one left in the band that's drinking?
No, the three of us do.
Because I know Chad. Because last time I saw him was at Club Vamped.
He's on fire.
And I saw him, and he was drinking. I was like, oh, "Are you drinking?" He goes, "No, it's an NA."
He was drinking an NA. Ryan Greg, Ryan, and I still do. Ryan is a lot more disciplined than I am. When I'm home, I would normally, I don't get up in the morning and drink. Well, unless it's Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
But typically I'm like, Monday through Friday I'm not drinking, and then on the weekend my Saturday's my Y day, so I like all bets are off. It's White Russians at 9 in the morning kind of.
Dude, oh no.
What is happening?
Yeah,
That's another thing.
I'm a crazy White Russian freak. I've got. Oh my God, yeah, that's my thing. Like on Saturday mornings, go grocery shop, go to Whole Foods, come home, make a White Russian. Yeah, let's do this,
dude. Told you.
But yeah, I mean we're all pretty. I'm a lot better. Back in the day, it was Jack and Diet Cokes back with Chad and I back when we first started touring.
That's funny because I was doing deep dives into stuff to ask you. So I saw the Jack and Coke.
Yep.
He's like, it's now in the can, and he.
Yeah.
There was an interview with you guys.
We were notorious. Yeah, we were notorious for it could be a Morton's or some fine steakhouse or like a bar or just a Waffle House. It didn't matter, but we'd be under the tables, knocking chairs over, wrestling. Like it was always like, oh yeah, Jack and Diet Cokes and honor.
So have you ever?
necks.
And I just did this not too long ago, where you brown out and then you have to do that apology tour the next day. Yeah. I'm assuming that you've
it's the
had
moral
to do
hangover.
Yeah.
You wake up. What did I do?
I'm not.
What did I say?
I'm not too bad about that. I mean, we all have.
I'm saying when you were coming, you were young.
Yeah.
You're on the top of the rock chart, number one.
Out of control. Like out of control.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
Yeah, we've got some stories. Oh yeah.
Do you ever look back on that? Because I feel like quite a few of us do. You look back on that time period and you're like, damn, I kind of got lucky to get where
Absolutely.
I am now.
Absolutely fundamentally. Driving, toy cars, toy rental cars, crap. I mean, just it's the Motley Crue. I mean, all bands have those stories.
And you were saying it was a different group of people now, because now you're like, okay, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to do this, I'm going to have a few drinks, go to bed, maybe hit up Potawatomi or something.
Yep.
But now you're, and back then it was a whole different group of people where I think things have adjusted.
Culturally things have changed.
So, I mean, you're seeing there's probably going to see a bunch of people when you're in the crowds. I'm assuming you're seeing all the older folk that were listening, and then you see probably their kids maybe. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Are you seeing all that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like 10-year-olds in the front row. I mean, Chad was doing this on this last tour. He was calling out during one of his talking breaks, like, "Hey, man, how old are you?" Like, 9-year-old. Here's a good parenting.
Yeah.
When I was 9 years old, the first concert I ever saw was at the rave.
Oh, God.
My brother took me. It was Testament.
Oh,
That's
my
why
gosh.
I'm in love with Testament.
Oh, my God, that rules. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
My first show was the Charlie Daniels Band.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Long-haired country
That's
boy.
funny because I used to listen to the Devil Went Down to Georgia was the first time I ever heard country.
I saw Devil Went Down to Georgia with like a Baptist choir on stage with him, like 30 crazy.
Where was this at?
It was in California. I was traveling with my family. I think maybe an uncle was getting married or something, and we all went to a Charlie Daniels band show.
Oh, wow.
What was your first
My
concert?
very first concert? Oh, my God. It was either John Michael Montgomery.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Drawing a blank.
Or Goldfinger.
Oh,
I can't
that's a good
remember
one.
which one was first.
That's a good one.
I went and saw Goldfinger on a night off. We were in like Philadelphia or something in a small club we hung out with them and stuff afterwards, and it was super cool.
Yeah.
They were rad.
They are rad, yeah.
Yes.
But because I remember my mom wanted to take me to John Michael Montgomery, and I had Goldfinger that week, and I just can't remember which one was first.
Okay.
That's a blur.
Well,
14.
okay.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
I was standing on the subwoofer, up in the Eagles ballroom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was standing on that subwoofer with my feet on like the middle part, and then I was sitting on the edge, and my brother had his arms around me because we were up front, right?
Yeah.
So I could sit there and see. And I looked. and I
Older
remember Chuck-
brother?
Yep. Chuck Billy looks. Guitar player in my band too,
Yep.
but he looks at sees me and he's like, holy, because back then it wasn't like you didn't see 9-year-olds at the.
Of course, yeah.
Now it's kind of
yeah.
But he looks and pointed at me, and that was like, to me, that was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it forever is still me into how anything I write, everything that Eric Peterson, all them. I love Testament, and it was the first time I've ever seen my brother
awesome.
get starstruck.
Yeah.
He turned into a little kid. Oh my God! Oh my God! And
He pointed at
That would be me at the Carcass show last year.
Oh yeah.
Saw Carcass at,
Oh, yeah.
at the Majestic. I think wasn't it?
Carcass.
Oh God, yeah. Best live guitar playing I've ever seen in my life, literally.
That was the only time I ever did that was with Dax Riggs when I was talking with Acid Bath,
yeah,
and I
exactly.
saw him and I did that.
Sorry,
like-
I'm digressing.
No. I did that same thing, and I did that cable guy where he's like stares at him.
Yeah. Like,
Tilts his head.
Yeah.
I was like trying to I was like, oh my God.
That would have been me. That would have been me in Switzerland hanging out with Samuel for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Terrified. Brought like the band up on the bus to hang out.
Oh man.
Blow your mind. Reese Fulber from Frontline Assembly hung out with him when he did.
Holy man, I forgot about
when
that.
he did the Dig remixes, and I spent an evening with him, dinner and hanging out, talking to him before he went in to do the remixes, and that was like, okay. I knew more about their discography than he did. And he was like, "Oh my God, you really are a
do you remember
geeky super fan, yeah.
You're doing this.
You are really, really out of control."
What about you? Who's starstruck you?
I don't think that there's ever been somebody that's made me not
Really?
be able to talk because
No, not like
yeah.
I didn't go like that. I just was
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah, I can't believe this is happening.
I
Yeah.
haven't had access. I don't if I had to interview Metallica, I'd probably bomb it. I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like that would be.
You
one,
ever met
just
them?
Because it's so
I've
big. They're so
partied with
big.
Yeah.
Lars a couple times. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Holy crap.
I've got won't talk public Lars stories that are super super cool.
Perfect, share 'em.
Yeah, no. We played Nijmegen, Holland. It was some metal fest thing that those Europeans do, and they were there. Well, we did Summer Sanitarium with them, so I saw them every day.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
forgot.
I forgot about that.
I mean, come into the dressing room, and Hetfield is hanging out with Ryan, and Ryan's
Holy.
messing around. Hetfield's playing Ryan's bass. That's
God damn, who else was on there? Was it Korn?
it was Deftones. It was so awesome.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was Deftones and
That's-
Metallica. Yeah. So anyway, after the end of the show, Lars grabbed me and Lars was like, "Hey, come on, let's go hang out." And I spent it was just a dress room, and him and I hung out for 3 hours, just
That's so cool.
drinking, smoking cigarettes, being
See, now
idiots.
I feel like I could interview Lars because I would.
You could
just-
interview Lars. You could absolutely. He is super cool.
and I would default
He's a dude.
to talking about artwork with him, and I feel like
Let's talk artwork. Let's talk artwork.
love artwork.
What is your period?
Day Steele.
That's next week.
I am. Yeah, I'm a 60s, early 70s. I collect prints. I have a print collection.
I had no idea.
I don't have any paintings, but I have a print collection.
That's pretty rad. So what's your favorites?
my favorites. Gosh, this is is this appropriate on air?
Go whatever.
Everyone's We're all going to sleep. I am a Frank Stella, Ellsworth Kelly, Robert Mangold, Barnett. I'm a New York period, World War II era.
I wanted
fan as well.
to major in art history, but I realized
That is my background. That's what I wanted to do. Art history.
All I could do was teach, and I was like, I can't.
No. And be a museum curator? Like
Right.
there's like maybe 50 open jobs. Like what do you like
Right.
exactly?
Exactly.
Lars is selling.
He got rid of it. Yeah. So he's like a 70s like a European expressionist fan. And his Basquiat collection is what freaked me out because I'm a huge Basquiat fan too.
Totally.
So
100%. Yeah, he's God.
So you and I should like we would have a conversation like that. That people don't want to have to like be subjected to. Yeah.
They're like, oh my god,
Oh my god! I don't want to have sex with the drummer from Mudvayne. He is boring the crap out of me.
Right there.
Yeah.
All right.
As I said.
Dumbing down your smartphone. One podcast at a time. Listen, rate, and subscribe to the JJO Morning Show podcast. Get up.
McDonald's presents Burger Reviews by Hamburglar. Today's review, the best ever Big Mac burger. Take it away, Hamburglar.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, there's more special sauce in every bite.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble indeed, my friend.
Try the juicier Big Mac and get 20% off any purchase of $10 or more. Only on the app. Comparison to prior classic burgers. Limited time only at participating McDonald's. Valid once per day. Excludes tax. Must be opted into rewards.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
With Johnny and D. JJO.
Do you have any four-legged friends?
Yeah,
we were.
I had dogs back in the 90s. I was very much into. Nice meeting you. Very much into Dobermans. I had 4 Dobermans over a period, but I'm a cat person now.
Yeah.
I am too. I love cats.
Cats. So there's been like another cultural shift. Like I think over the past like maybe 20 years, like cats were always like something. It was like a piece of furniture. Like
Right.
it just they sit over there. But like cats are. If you interact with them, their personalities come out and they're just as crazy and strange as dogs. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize this when I was younger, and when I started living with a cat, and it was like, oh my god, he's a little nut, and they're all different and strange. I have a stray that was in my flower beds for over 2 years, who we coaxed and grabbed and brought in the house. So that's what I have right now is
it's a stray.
a feral stray that had never lived in it was like a
It's a calico, orange, what is
no,
it?
she's solid black. She's a crazy looking Black Panther. So brought her inside, and it's been this crazy experience of watching her grow up, because she'd never been socialized in any sense. So she was like a kitten still.
Right.
She was about 3 years old when we got her. But
That's awesome.
yeah, so cats, that's my thing.
Cool. Yeah, I've always loved cats and dogs.
I love dogs too. Obviously, I love dogs.
It's just easier to have a cat.
This is
than
how.
a
Yes.
dog.
This is how, like cats are like teenagers.
Yeah.
Because they get into crap, but they're still. You can leave them home alone.
You can leave them home for a minute. Yeah.
Whereas dogs are like, oh, my
Yeah, they
God."
lose their minds. Yes, the little babies that need to have their butt spanked. Yeah,
Yeah. I used
100%.
to be a canine handler in the Air Force. So,
I worked in the 90s. I was an assistant to a professional handler who, obviously, wealthy people would hire to show their dogs for a companion. So not the show dogs, but like CD, open, utility. And I was an assistant for like 5-6 years.
That's so cool.
So really learned a lot about dog handling. And anyway, you obviously were really way serious.
No, it was more just I was getting into it, and I was like, a senior airman. I was like, hey, they want to go into the class, so I went into the class
And got sucked in.
got sucked in, and then
Yeah.
I had Tito, who bit everybody else but me because he had kennel rage.
Oh,
We would put him in the kennel. He'd sit there and he'd pull on my arm to try to eat Taco Bell at night because I worked on mid shift,
yeah.
and put him in the kennel, and then.
I miss Tito.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, they had to put him down because he had hip dysplasia. So yeah, but he was awesome. We had to take care of all the dogs. We had a dog called Arno, which was like this big Irish setter.
Oh,
I've
never really been around Irish setters. I don't know their disposition. And
big, but he had titanium teeth. They had
What?
they
Titanium
yes,
teeth?
they took out because his canine.
It sounds like something out of like a Rob Zombie movie, right?
And they had in, because of the rot that was going on, they put it and they had it into his skull, and these things were silver, and he would come and you do wrap training. You could feel that thing go on your arm through that wrap.
Yeah,
right. It felt like it hurt.
Yeah. Totally.
It was like, could you imagine that thing grabbing
you
and
like, oh my God,
rip you a new ass?
That is so awesome.
I got all those videos we're talking about, like the old. I have all these VHS tapes. I got to like put back onto like digital.
Yes, you do.
And I'll show you the rap training. I was doing it on like the flight line and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome.
Man, between the two of you,
yes,
I feel like we've covered all the experiences you can possibly have. My God.
No, not even close. Not even close. No, I'm filtering. I've been filtering this whole time.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at the cowbell and thinking about Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Actually, is that normally there? Is that like a
It
non-air
is there.
prop thing, or was that for me, for my personal benefit?
It was not just for you.
Okay.
No, we have a listener that comes in and drops us off random things.
Oh,
Okay.
Nate.
And so, yep, Nate. So the cowbell was one of them. We also got the tuning fork thing.
Yeah, it's an F, I think.
You know.
I probably shouldn't do
No,
that.
that's fine. I do it all the time.
There's another one over here.
There we go. Yeah. What is that? Little Neil Peart.
That is a pearl.
Yeah, hell
you play
yeah.
pearl, don't you?
I do. I play pearl. Yes, pearl drums. I play pearl drums.
That's pearl drums.
I got my endorsement. Mikey Wengren from Disturbed got me my endorsement.
Oh, you know, do you talk to him at all? Because he's got that bar in Oconomowoc, Steel Tank.
I've heard some stories. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I know that like if him and I saw each other, it'd be like just like it would
Fight?
be like
No, I'm just
yesterday.
kidding.
No, God, no.
I know, I'm just joking.
No. Mikey's. I mean, maybe Matt. He's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. Owns a bar. I'd heard something, but I'm not.
It's Steel Tank. If you got to get out to Oconomowoc, you're around here. So it is awesome. They had
a brewery.
Yeah, well, they have food that's really good too. They had this thing called the Gunner, which they took off. Oh, it had like a mushroom. It was like a stroganoff.
Oh, geez.
But it was fan damn.
I know how you are with stroganoff.
Oh, dude, like vintage stroganoff.
I like
dude.
I like
vintage stroganoff.
I'm down with the stroganoff.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. The vintage stroganoff was...
What makes it
life-changing.
vintage?
It's from the vintage
The
brewing.
vintage brewing,
Oh, vintage. Okay, I'm Whitney.
which again another great
And
one.
I think Trent said
They have
that
a very good Oktoberfest, by the way.
Oh,
Yes,
hell
they do.
yeah,
Yes,
they
I
do.
had it. It
They
was
got
extremely
everything
good. Yes.
Even their pumpkin disorderly beer is pretty dang good.
yeah, the
How are you on the pumpkin beer thing?
I'm down. I mean, I love it, but it's like, okay, moving
One
on.
and done,
I can't.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, dessert beers are like, it's not the way I roll. Like, give me a 6-pack of hams. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah, totally.
I am indeed pistachio beer.
Pistachio and pecan.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
Albedo.
Albedo has that pecan,
Yeah.
but pistachios, I've had a pistachio that's, I mean, God, you can get peanut butter.
Oh, that's the Belching Beaver.
Belching Beaver has that it's
Peanut
a
butter
porter or a stout or
stout,
something. It's,
yeah.
oh
Peanut
my
butter stout.
God, because I'm a peanut butter freak. I love
Peanut butter. Greg, he put that in his bar because I was like, here, which one should I get? And he put in Belching Beaver. I told him to put in the pistachio. Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's selling because people have it. They're like, oh man, that's good.
Let's bring this proper.
Very nice.
You can learn a lot listening to podcasts,
And only 3 countries in the world don't use the metric system?
or you can listen to this one.
Can't remember where I went Friday. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God, what did I do on Friday? I gotta check my calendar.
If anybody saw me Friday, call.
The JJO Morning Show podcast.
I literally have no idea where I was Friday.
Johnny and D, nowhere but JJO.
Lance and Dee and Matt from Mudvayne joining us. We were just having Matt chat.
Matt Chat. That's a new one. No one's ever said before.
Yeah, we were talking about Metallica earlier. We've moved on to beers, and now we're talking about our loathing for driving.
Yeah. And this is kind of like the morning driving show, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're trying to help people. if
Everybody
they're-
knows.
I'm split on how I like the belt line and everybody speeding versus not speeding.
I love it.
Yes.
Flex lane has helped.
Yeah, I know that people are zooming past us and stuff like that, but it makes makes it faster.
Yeah.
And if everybody's going at the same speed, because I've always been told, if you're making somebody brake, you're the problem.
Yes.
Because if everybody is going in the same speed and they're doing that, and you're the hesitant one, you're going to cause something bad.
They actually say, so like when there are like lanes merging, like say for like road work or an accident, when there are multiple lanes that are trying to merge and everyone, and people are blocking off and getting mad, they actually say, like research has shown that it moves faster if everyone lines up next to each other and you just take turns and let everything flow. I mean, it's right. I'm a huge NASCAR fan. That's the whole thing with like restarts is like that the drivers that can manage actually flowing together and not breaking and catch the rhythm of it. It's all about rhythm.
It's like shotgunning a beer. You put the little hole at the back.
When? Anyway,
That's fantastic. Yep. No, the first day the flex lane opened, because Johnny was making, we thought it was going to be chaos.
Yep.
Right.
Because when you looked at how people drove before the flex lane, it was kind of chaos.
Oh,
it's a lot better. It definitely
helps so much.
It helps. It does help. Yep.
Turns out they know what they're talking about.
It's just, I mean, come on. We all know. Move over to the right side, which is what I do. Move to the right side. Maybe not all the way to the right because people are trying to get on and off, but sit over there and let all the people that want to drive 90 you got everyone.
Let's work together, people.
Yeah, let's figure this out.
Exactly.
Hey, I play in a band. I know how to work together.
Yeah, I think it's funny that there's probably people riding your ass and pissing you off that are listening to your record.
I'm not going to say that's awesome. I'm not going to say that I think about that all the time, but I have thought about it before. You're probably listening.
It goes from finger to horns.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, wait a minute, you look like a granddad. Wait a minute, what? Oh, yeah.
Hey, I was going to bring up your wife,
okay,
who everybody adores.
She
more
is
so
I can tell you right now, the fact that you even brought this up, when she sees you, you are going to probably take a left hook.
Okay.
So go on.
Well, sounds good. Well, I don't think she's going to get up here. But
no, probably. She's like 3'8".
Look at that giant head.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, I look like a stop sign. I look like one of the Pep Boys. You know
give me
what I mean?
that melon.
But she is one of the coolest people, and consensus-wise, everybody that talked to her always wanted to say, "Oh, his wife." I mean, I'm sitting there talking with you, and everybody the whole focus shifts on her.
Yeah, everything. And so I had a couple people who were like, we got to the show, and she was walking around and everyone thought I was like her handler, and she was like the rock star there. She looks like the rock star. She looks like the little crazy singing some Japanese weird alt post rock band.
It's called Maximum the Hormone.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. I mean, yeah, she's a blast to have around. I bring her out on the road. She comes out on the road. I don't bring her out. She's.
Well, you got to have your DD.
I gotta have my DD, exactly. But she's a blast to party with. She's a lot of fun. So I appreciate you saying so.
No, I'm just pointing that out there because I was like, everybody was so enthralled with her.
She's really sweet. I met her years ago, long ago.
You did, so you remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of that whole Matt talks too much about things that people don't care about, and then the cool wife.
Right.
So she kind of massages that whole social situation. I mean, her whole thing is I have to be socialized. She wants to take me out. We got to go to Oktoberfest. I need to be socialized. So
that's awesome. That's good. It sounds like she's your partner and your teammate.
I am extremely lucky and fortunate in my life.
That's fantastic. And I think, too, I don't know if you were always like that way, the whole practicing gratitude thing that I feel has been kind of a cultural shift, which is awesome. And and I think it definitely helps to manifest more abundance in your life. Were you always a practicer of gratitude, or were you kind of a cynical 20-something?
No, I mean, I have had a lifelong interest in certain spiritual. Fans of the band kind of see some of the threads of those things, and
aliens.
Aliens too, yeah. But aliens can be compassionate and thoughtful, right? We maybe can learn that from them. I mean, I value being self-aware and appreciating people for who they are and not having expectations of them being something other than what they are. So I try to, with the bad traffic, I try to be mindful. I mean, that's a big kind of buzzword now.
Right.
When I'm being tailgated, I try to be mindful,
Right.
about
I'm all like, well, maybe they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
And
or
they're
just,
in a real
or
big
just,
hurry,
or just, I don't like this, but there's nothing wrong with things. I mean, there are things in life we don't like.
Right.
So you just, you
roll off your back, man. That's an age thing.
a little water on the duck kind of thing.
Because I've
it's an
noticed,
age thing. It's an age thing.
I've definitely noticed. I've been like, whatever.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I'd be like, Hulk smash.
yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
And now I'm just like,
But you know what? Like, you've got your Garmin watch, and then you look at like your heart rate, and then you get home and you look at the stress levels, and you go, "Oh my God, what? Oh, yeah, okay."
oh
And
yeah,
you
I
just
better chill.
Yeah, I might want to just be a little more present.
Right, 100%. And one thing you brought up that I think is super important is the expectations of people.
Absolutely.
And that's something I think that it's a lifelong struggle.
Expectations
for sure.
about anything.
Anything, yeah.
Expecting things to be different than what they actually are.
Right. It's a joy killer.
Mm-hmm.
It's that will rob you of all the joy. If you eliminate expectations
Well,
of people.
you're not.
Isn't that called Christmas?
Hence conversations that generally make people's eyes glass over. It's if you expect things to be different than what they are, then you are not actually present and you are not interacting with reality.
Right.
In my opinion.
Totally. And it takes practice. It's because I feel like, and I don't know if it's like the American values kind of make us that way, where we're
part of our
focused
culture.
on
American, it's a go get 'em kind of capital. It's the I mean, and there's great things in that too, but
Right.
It's the strong survive, conquer, all of that kind of stuff, which is not necessarily.
It breeds some. That's
It breeds
work?
some
Sure, but it
antagonistic
breeds, yeah.
antagonistic attitudes towards the way we live.
Yeah, totally. But I don't know. I was dealing with that with my kid. He was the editor of the high school, the newspaper, and he made it all digital and whatever else. And he was like, these people, it was their assignment to hand in articles, and he's like, there are misspellings, the grammar's awful, they're
Yep.
not, and he's like, they just don't care. And I was like, they don't care.
Yep.
You said it.
They don't care.
Right.
And you can't make them care.
No, you're not
They will
gonna.
never care.
You have
as
to
much
figure
as
things
you
like
do.
this out for yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but it's something that you realize it, or you have a natural propensity. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough through my life to be mentored by wonderful people that have older elders that have guided me and shown me things and blown my mind and opened me up to stuff. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good.
And that leads into something good I was going to ask you about, because I know we were talking about different bands and things like that, or you were talking about. I was always wondering, who was your inspiration? Because we were talking about like Me Testament and.
Oh, you
and
mean
things
music
like that.
wise?
Yeah, music wise. I mean, who have you? Who was your drum person?
Yeah, well, drums. I mean, that's different too. I mean, there's different ways to.
Let's go with both.
To approach it. I mean, it depends upon my age. At what age I was when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s. As far as like inspiration for Mudvayne, obviously there was Tool and Pantera.
Yep.
For me, Voivod, we were talking about earlier. Voivod was a massive influence. The chord work, the crazy, strange chords, time signatures. You can trace everything pretty much back to Voivod. A lot of what I do as far as messing around with the time signatures. They weren't so much of a polyrhythm band. That was, I don't know where that came from. But earlier, Ozzy, Iron Maiden were massively inspirational. AC/DC when I was a kid. The big four in the 80s, obviously Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax, and Slayer they changed everything. Everything was changed by all four of them. I am a big pop music fan. I grew up listening to Prince and Michael Jackson.
You said Hall & Oates earlier.
And I'm a huge Hall & Oates Culture Club. Are you kidding me?
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, I used to sing.
I'm a huge Culture Club. I love Boy George.
I used to sing
Crying Game, the theme song for Crying Game.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I used to sing Culture Club songs to our cows when, when I was doing chores.
But I mean, anybody. So I mean, the one of the anomalies about Mudvayne is we are a pop band. We're a pop band. I mean, regardless of all of everything else, we are a pop band, and we have a pop aesthetic, and that comes from all of us, especially Ryan and I, are huge George Michael fans. Elton John. I love old
Tears for Fears.
Oh, dude,
We
some
talked
of the
about
most
this already.
incredible.
We did this already.
Most incredible vocals. Tears for Fears is like Roland is his name. His name's Roland.
Yep.
I'm a huge Ella Fitzgerald fan. Patsy Cline, Hank Williams. I love
Nat King Cole.
God, Al Davis. I mean, I go through the whole, and I feel a personal responsibility as a professional musician to educate myself about music, and I've always had that attitude that I listen to things that I don't even necessarily like all the time because I can appreciate its value.
Right.
So
somebody came up with that, yeah.
Well, and it affects everything. Like everything's affected by everything else. There's nothing new in the world.
I just watched a whole thing on Little John. I didn't realize how talented that dude is.
So I have
Holy crap.
I have a whole New Orleans connection from Dave Fortman. From our last records we made. So I spent lots of time down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Little John is I mean, this,
dude.
that brain on him.
Fritz went through down the rabbit hole.
I did.
I'm thinking about the right, like New Orleans, right? Isn't that he's part of the whole?
I think so.
Second line, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yo, no, he's a ridiculous.
I mean,
dude,
he comes up with it. The people
Harry Connick Jr.
I just whisper your name.
I love Harry Connick Jr. Anyway, yeah.
I love it.
Dave Fortman actually was an accomplished second line jazz drummer and like smokes me on drums, like could destroy me. We're talking Ugly Kid Joe guitar player.
I know. Yeah,
ridiculous. Yeah, that whole school.
Really?
Oh God, he's incredible.
I am shocked right now.
Yeah, me too. That's why I was staring at him.
We've had some late night. We've had some late night under the influence of various chemicals, sitting in his living room playing his V drum kit, and he would sit down and like some crazy second line, and I would be like, That's the best I got right now. That's what I got. There you go.
Because like when I think of like the best drummers of all time, not to fangirl on you, but you're
yeah, dude.
I mean, okay, thank you, thank you.
Dude, you're it.
We've got some messages here that are saying the same thing.
So for me, like drums are a medium. I don't see makes some people angry. I don't see myself as a drummer. I'm an artist that utilizes a medium.
Right.
There are Braun from Mastodon.
Oh yeah.
Kidding me? Like there are drummers that absolutely smoke me. I do my thing, so I've interacted with the instrument in a way that's idiosyncratic. That word again. Which attracts a lot of attention. But as far as technical skill, that's not virtuoso playing isn't something that ever is really. I mean, I've appreciated in other people and other instruments. Robert Fripp, like my all-time favorite guitar player, but that's not really my thing. I'm a weird person. I drive my guitar player crazy. Like he'll play a riff and I play.
He'll be in 4/4 and you'll be in.
Well, I play backwards over it. I'm like, hey, and I'm just playing off the top of my head, and he'll be like, oh, dude, that's not the chorus. That's the verse. I'm like, no, that's a chorus. No, you're coming in on and a 2. What are you doing? Like,
that's cool though, because if you go back into that and then go back into
I just
the
hear
normal
things
times,
really weird, and that's how a lot of our writing comes from that. It's from the ear, and we'll do something like go back, record it, like what was I doing? Okay, wait a minute, what? And then you figure it out, and then you process it and break it down, and then extrapolate on it. Essentially, capture that essence. So, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, totally
flattering.
Yeah. So it just blows my mind that you're like, he could smoke me. I'm like, I don't.
I love that you're humble, dude. But
he can't do what I do. I'm for all of the joking. I play extremely hard. I'm a very aggressive. For being a geeky kind of cerebral sort of person, part of what I enjoy about drumming is I like to hit shit.
That's fine. We'll let it slide.
I said I wouldn't do that.
I did it this morning. So
I like hitting things. I like the playing through it. I like the way it feels when I'm projecting energy through my kit. So I play very hard, very aggressively.
Yeah.
I enjoy that with my band.
So what was when you we're talking with Matt from Mudvayne. What was when you weren't playing drums for 11 years? What was your release then?
Reading, lots of research, which is something I'm always investigating stuff. Working on my electronic music. Wasn't really involved. Yeah, you're right. Like, what was I actually physically doing? Because I'm obviously a animated, kind of energetic person. Maybe that was part of a lot of my mental problems during that period because I didn't have anything. Dungeons and Dragons.
Right,
I'm a huge D&D fan. Cerebral stuff, pretty much. Yeah,
totally. Because I firmly do believe, I think, and especially, I mean, not to get this way, but I think there is a difference with, I think men need a physical kind of thing, like whether it's the punching bag or whatever. There needs to be some sort of
release.
There's an energy there that I think
there is a testosterone thing. Absolutely,
that needs it needs the out.
Yeah, there's obviously a physicality about playing drums. I've always equated it with like dancing. To me, I'm very spatial and geometric in the way that I approach my playing and my kit. I feel like in a lot of ways I'm, piloting a ship or sitting in my lab, moving around, and mixing beakers and
Your
stuff.
laboratory.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And so, I ran. I was still running and doing some exercising during that whole period.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's interesting.
You have to have some killer calves on you because I was watching this whole thing with you. Look at those creamy hamstrings.
Yeah, right. I need to shave. Usually I shave because my legs are tattooed, and the tattoos look better if I,
that was
slick skin.
Jacoby said that. He was like, "Well, I got to shave my arms," and people were like, "Huh?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Well, he's like, I paid so much money for
Your
this.
tattoos
I don't
look
want them
better.
covered over with
absolutely
inch of hair."
Yeah.
But I was watching you on. I was doing some investigation. I saw a whole thing of you. It was just the camera's on you.
Sure.
Drums are pushed up.
We've got some drum cam
Yeah,
stuff that's just gone up recently, like last year, which is I've never even seen that kind of footage of me playing. Like it was really enlightening.
You got to watch the game tape, man. You got to watch the game tape.
Like, oh my God, whoa, what's he doing? But yeah, I mean, you can really see like some of the stuff that I'm doing. I approach my kit in zones, and I'm kind of playing ambidextrously, so it's a very weird, anomalous sort of playing style. Like it's just me doing my thing.
When you were playing, do you have any stories where you had something happen to you on stage where you're like, oh no? Because I've had it where I've had to like take a dump real bad. I'm like, oh no, which is a big no-no. You don't eat chicken wings and stuff like that?
No.
So,
when I don't eat like hours and hours and hours before I play. One of the things, like for me, I've never had to go to the bathroom on the stage. It's just like running or exercising. If you're like running a 10K, you're not going to have to urinate.
What has happened to you on stage where that stands out that you were like, oh man, it might have been.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk. We played on the air in New York. It was. It might have been a radio gig, and a couple of these cities across the country are union, and it's very hard to try to figure out. We had our show that evening, and then I had a secondary kit that was in the studio, kind of like and I didn't have a tech, and some guy came in to try to put my kit together, and we were
awesome.
Awesome. That was really brilliant, management. You were really looking out for great. We're playing Happy on the air. Maybe it was Happy or it was probably it was one of our singles. I can't remember the names of my own songs. And the double kick pedal came apart, and I played I played a whole song with one kick.
Oh my God.
Man.
Yeah, I don't ever. Actually, it would probably be hilarious.
Well, did you point it out at that point? And I mean, just like, hey, this came apart.
I went Conan O'Brien. How about this? Yeah, no. You're already playing. It's too late.
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien. Someone forgot to plug my in-ears in, and I played the whole song on Conan O'Brien with what, like, I don't know what, 20, how many people would be watching?
Oh, yeah.
5 million, 10, 15, 20
yeah.
million. I played the whole song with my in-ears in, so they're basically earplugs without hearing anything. I played the whole song, couldn't hear myself or the band, and I just played, and the band played with me, and nobody knew. Yeah.
Talk about timing.
Talk about have a heart attack. So one of the things about being a professional and not and managing your expectations is you just I mean I've been hit in this whole like what's this phenomenon with people performers being hit on stage.
Oh
with
my
stuff?
God, I know.
I've been hit on stage. We were on a Marilyn Manson tour, and he got hit on stage, and he brought the person up on stage and was like, stood him up across the stage and was like, all right, come on. I'm right here. Let's do this.
Oh, my
God. It was amazing.
Man.
But I've been hit on stage and got up from my kit and walked off and had to be talked back. I talked about negative stuff like that ain't great.
Yeah.
Everything happens on stage. How about something happened with Greg's rig and he kicked over his amps and I didn't realize it and the whole band walked off stage and I was still playing and didn't realize it. How about that? That was in Atlantic City. Yeah. And I'm up on stage like, what is going on? I'm like, there's no band. There's no band. Wait, there's no band. Hey, it shows you how like in my head I can be. Like even I was like, what is going on? I'm like, there's no band. There's no band. Like
they think you're just doing
That's amazing.
You know,
drum fill.
The cue might have been like I don't hear any other instruments in my in-ears. Like I only hear myself. Like
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
There's some stories.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been an absolute blast.
Thank you.
I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
Yeah, totally. We can nerd out on all kinds of different stuff off the air here, so we don't put everyone to sleep.
Yep.
But let's do some Shut Up or Rock Radio next. Matt from Mudvayne. What's happening with you guys now? What's going on? We should probably fill people in.
So we are still continuing to tour. The feedback, the response, Beer Foul. We it's been amazing. From the industry, from insider people have been super supportive. We have a great team around us. So we're going to continue touring. We are doing Australia in February. We're doing that with Cold Chamber, who we just finished our tour with, it's going to be crazy cool. We're doing like in Australia they call them arenas, and they're like 3,000 seaters. So it's going to be so much fun. And then,
so when you go to Australia, is your wife going to come with you?
God, no. Are you kidding me? Do you bring your spouse to work? Come on.
Because it's just so because you
I
were
know
touring
everyone.
for so long.
Everybody. The thing with Australia is you can't. I mean, touring in Australia, it's not like America. Like all you can do is the coast. So you play like 6 shows.
Okay.
It's not like you're there for a week and a half.
Oh, okay.
And you fly. Every show is a fly date. There's no busing because it's all on the coast and they're so far between.
Oh, so it's like.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I love it. I love Australia. The shows are great, but the touring it's rough.
That's brutal.
You're flying every other day. I'll fly like 8 or 9 times.
Crocodiles, wandering spiders.
Yeah,
you're gonna
exactly. So that actually goes back to the Glenn Gardner story with JJO. As a show of gratitude, we brought him on our first Australian tour.
Oh, okay.
So we took him and hosted him in Australia for the first time as a shout out to JJO.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For helping break the band. That was one thing that we took him with us. So people come out. Yeah, obviously going to Australia is a rare opportunity. I mean, I'm incredibly grateful to be able to do it. So then after that, hopefully right now what we are working on is hopefully doing a more intimate sort of small, like, I guess, theater tour in the spring, and then go out in the summer and maybe support like a cool band, like we should not be headline. It's just come on, yeah.
And it cracks me up too. These nostalgia tours, I'm like, it's great because like they're fans. Now we actually have some disposable income, so we can spend some money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think about the festivals we used to go to, and we'd have $10.
I know, and try to buy a beer, and like exactly.
Right,
a bottle of water, and it costs. That's it.
100%.
The JJO Morning Show podcast with Johnny and D. Listen, rate, subscribe. Catch a new show every Monday through Friday, 6 till 10 a.m. on 94.1 JJO or streaming anywhere in the JJO app. Johnny and D, nowhere but JJO.